And the friendships you make on these teams are lifelong, and I think that's something that, as I was trying to say, that guys just really want to make these teams because we have so much fun, you know, in the team room, hanging out, get to know everyone's family, and you become, you know, one big team.
Well, we'll see how that big, happy U.S. team does this weekend in California against the best golfers from outside the United States. Welcome back. Now, the U.S. has dominated the rest of the world in President's Cup play, but the same players get all jittery in the off years when they play Great Britain and Ireland in the Ryder Cup. Why is that? I know. Let's ask Sal. He knows everything. And welcome to the Great Golf Observer, Sal Johnson. Good to have you here as always, sir.
Hey, how are you doing?
The U.S. does real well in the President's Cup. It has problems with the Ryder Cup.
You know what? It's never lost here on United States soil. It's got a tie over in South Africa and a loss in Australia, and then the rest of them have been that way. It's because the European Tour players blend together. That's the whole thing about the European Tour. They play the whole year together. They fly out to the event on Tuesday morning. They hang out at the same hotel. They drink, they eat, they do everything together, and then they come home together. And they're just a family, and they love playing against the United States. That's why you don't see that with the international team.
Let's take a look at these two teams, because I think this is as good an assemblage of talent, I think, as we've seen in an awful long time. Here's the U.S. team: Mickelson, Johnson, Glover, Leonard, Stricker, Mahan, a fella named Woods, Kim, Sink, O'Hare, Perry, and Fury. That's a pretty good lineup.
Well, if you look at there, what I see is I see 5 guys in the top 10 of the world ranking, which is pretty good. And that's the kind of thing, they're so much more overpowering, and they're, you know, day-to-day type of players where, you know, if you look at the international team's more streaky and guys that'll win. You know, you have Mike Weir, who's won a Masters, and you have Vijay Singh, you have Cabrera, he won the Masters, and, you know, the rest of it. Goossens won the U.S. Open. But that's the thing, they'll win one big tournament, and then they'll go on, you know, siesta for, you know, a few years.
There's one name on this list that may surprise you. It's Ishikawa, and when he was announced as one of the captain's picks by Greg Norman, a lot of people said, who? They're not saying who more, are they?
No, he's a teenager from Japan, and he's, you know, been the guy with the golden, you know, tooth. He gets everything. He has his own practice facility, everything in Japan. He's won, I think, 4 times this summer. He won last Sunday in Japan. Really good player. He's going to surprise a lot of people.
Can we talk a little bit about Harding Park? This is a golf course with great history in the Bay Area. It is a public course, and anytime you can bring golf on an international stage to a course we all can play, I think that's a good thing. But how are we going to remember Harding Park when all this is over? Is this a great golf course?
No, we're not going to remember Harding Park, other than the fact that it held this President's Cup, it held the World Golf Championship. It's nothing really spectacular. It's what you can do when you have a lot of money and make a golf course into, you know, this.
What it needs to be. And they almost had a problem there because they burned out a couple of greens. It was one of the classic case of they put the fertilizer on and they thought it was, or they put weed killer on and they thought it was fertilizer.
Half the greens
and just burned out half the greens. So there was real concern that they may not be able to get the thing played here. Apparently everything is good.
No, everything's fine with the greens, and you know, everything. The one thing about the President's Cup is it's got more drama. You know, we've been talking about the Ryder Cup for all these years, and that's because America started losing. I'll never forget, I was at the Ryder Cup in 1987, and, you know, the head of ABC Sports said, this is crap. We don't want to do it anymore. They didn't do it, and all of a sudden, you had the Europeans win, and it became big theater.
It blew up.
The President's Cup, Tim Finchem needs for Greg Norman's team to win, to really create that theater.
Real quickly, let's talk about one little subplot going on here. Greg Norman and his wife, Chris Everett. It was the great sports wedding. It lasted all 15 months. What happened?
Well, the thing is that's the dream couple, and that's when you get a bunch of really big egos in there. You know what? If you look, this is a type of wedding that you would have thought that Michelle and, you know, that president would break up before these two did. They were together last week, Chris Everett and Greg at the White House just last month. I don't know if it was a good idea for them to have announced this because it's really detracted from the whole President's Cup. And you know what? That's the problem. You know, Greg has won so much money, he's made so much money in business, but you can't buy love.
Yeah.
And you know, what can I say?
I guess when you take a date and your wife is there too, then that might have been a problem for him. So that may have been.
Who knows? Who knows? But you know what? It's a sad thing because you know, we thought that they'd be the dream couple.
Sal, thank you so much. And before we go, one other President's Cup angle that we wanted to show you, part of the home team's uni that you might not get to see. This, by the way, is the special edition President's Cup rain gear from Sun Mountain. The weather forecast for the event is perfect. 70s, mild breezes, no rain. But Sun Mountain is a great outerwear, bag, and pushcart company. They got tapped to provide the foul weather gear. And this is the U.S. team's rain suit. It is a full zip, lightweight, stretchable, and breathable jacket that'll take you from morning cool to noontime showers and then afternoon sun. And out in San Francisco, you can get all that in one day. You never have to take the thing off. It is guaranteed waterproof. It has locking zippers on the front that really stay put, tabs at the cuff and at the waist, for easy customizing and to keep the wet out. The knitted I should say, fabric stretches 100% across the shoulders diagonally, and it's quiet. Good stuff. This is what the U.S. team will be wearing if it does actually mess up and rain a little bit. For more on this gear, check out sunmountain.com. And next up for you, Golf for Art's Sake. We will preview the 12th annual Wolf Trap Invitational. A great day for a great cause, and you're invited. We've got details on that tournament after you check out a short game tip from the short game guru, Dave Pelz.